Rant about Devil May Cry?
Oh, have you ever played any of the DMCs?
No.
Okay. Well, then this rant's not going to make any sense to you at all. But the new reboot that they're having of Devil May Cry is completely eradicating everything that you know and love about the original Dante character.
Really?
And it's not cool anymore.
Well, because I kind of know about the character. I mean, I know about the games. If I haven't played a game sometimes, I'll go and read up about it.
It's I don't know exactly how to like explain Devil May Cry. I think a lot of things that Ninja Theory, the guys who did wait, I'm not on podcast, so I don't need to explain myself. Ninja Theory did Heavenly Sword and Enslaved. And Heavenly Sword was like a God of War ripoff, and Enslaved, as a black man, I tried to avoid. But it was not that great.
Aww.
So, and now this is their third game that they've ever released, and it's given to them by Capcom, and it's a huge fucking franchise. And the trailer that came out for it, I feel like I should be explaining this in a podcast.
You are.
So, oh.
I didn't want to tell you, but...
Anyway. The Capcom gave it to Ninja Theory. And now Ninja Theory, it released a trailer for this game. I want to see at Tokyo Game Show, or it was E3. I'm not 100% sure. But it looks atrocious. Like, it looks terrible, 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 terrible. There's not a single cool part in this entire freaking trailer.
Oh, that's just sad.
Yeah, it blows. Especially me being a huge DMC fan. And they really had something starting with Devil May Cry 4. They inputted a new character. He was just starting to get his wings, and he wasn't as badass as Dante, but he was getting really fucking close. So they're scrapping all of that. They're saying this is a complete and utter reboot of the franchise, which really didn't need a reboot. And Ninja Theory so far has been shitting on anything that was remotely related to Devil May Cry. Like, for instance, I just read an interview that Ninja Theory did regarding Bayonetta.
Oh.
And inside story, the guy who did who was the director of the original Devil May Cry was also the director for Bayonetta. And it's known as a virtual or a spiritual spinoff. So pretty much, if you played Bayonetta and you like Bayonetta, you're going to love Devil May Cry.
Oh.
And when Ninja Theory's creative director was asked if he thought Bayonetta was cool, quote unquote, he said, "Personally, I don't. I love the game. I think it's awesome. It's taken everything. It's gone to a total extreme. But in terms of do I think it's quote unquote cool, not at all. I think that it's just characterized and over the top and very Japanesey. And for that absurd style, it does that really well. But that's not what I want." The biggest problem that I have with what he was just saying is that Devil May Cry was his main goal was characterized and over the top and kind of Japanesey.
Kind of
Japanesey. I mean, it had its Japanesey moments, but it wasn't necessarily centered there. And I really don't believe Bayonetta is kind of Japanesey. But then again, maybe my opinion is flawed and broken. Ninja Theory also came out and said that what was cool 12 years ago isn't cool anymore. And that's an obvious reference to the the new revamping of the Devil May Cry series. And the Devil May Cry series, while I can agree, 12 years ago, what I may have thought was fun then may not be so much fun now. Um, Devil May Cry has actually had the same type of crazy, off the wall gameplay all through here, and looks pretty much the same fashion that started in 1 was the same way in 4. And so, even though the first one may show its age, the fourth one sure as hell didn't, because the fourth one, I want to say, came out in 2005?
Well, it wasn't really all that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago at all. So, I kind of feel like the Ninja Theory is taking what it is, taking Devil May Cry and throwing it into a blender, chopping it up into unrecognizable pieces, and just making their own shit and giving it a DMC name, which I really don't think that that's a really, really, really good idea. So, with that being said, Ninja Theory's not getting my money. First off, they got to do a game that I actually can be like, hey, I like that. I'm cool with you guys getting it.
True. You need some backup on that.
Real big thing, Metroid Other M.
I heard about that.
You know, it all depends on who you asked. Who did you hear about Metroid Other M, by the way?
I heard before I saw the trailer at E3, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is going to be so amazing. It's going to be the best Metroid ever. And like you said, depending on who you talk to, or in my case, what articles I read, apparently it did not live up to its hype.
Okay.
At all.
I'm going to go ahead and say my nitpick or my things about Metroid Other M. And then I guess because we're talking about a Nintendo franchise, we can lead dead into the Zelda in the 25 years. But kind of like the DMC franchise right now, Nintendo gave another publisher or another developer the rights to make a game. And it was Other M, and it was done by Team Ninja, the same guys who did Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden. Mm-hmm. So that's not bad, because I haven't played a Ninja Gaiden that I haven't liked. And then Dead or Alive has jiggly boobs, and that automatically is an A+ for me. So, sorry. So when the game came out, and all this hype, when all this hype was coming up, I was like everybody else, yeah, it's good, it's going to be great. I didn't think it was going to be the greatest Metroid ever, but I knew that it was going to be top up there. And when I got the game, and I played the game, and beat the game, you know what? Fuck everyone who said that that was a terrible Metroid, because it wasn't. It was actually a really solid game. Now, there are plot holes. Granted, there's plot holes. I'll be the first one to admit it. But as far as gameplay is concerned, I really didn't find it all that bad. A lot of people were kind of angry that Other M had this. Samus actually got a speaking role for a change, as opposed to being a silent protagonist, like the person that we're talking about in our podcast. She actually got a voice, and honestly, I really didn't. I can't say I hated it. I thought it was pretty cool to actually put a story into a Metroid and actually have it make sense. Now, there is a part of the game that all the other Metroids had that this one lacked, and it was the feeling that the exploration. It did feel kind of linear. Exploration was there, but it just wasn't as great as it was in Super Metroid and the original and Metroid Prime. And another big thing was that you knew Samus wasn't alone. Unlike everybody else, it was kind of like an exploration type thing. You really didn't talk to anybody else, and now you have this team that you're working with going through stuff. And for all the fanboys out there who had that like really, really nitpicky type of criticism towards it, back off of it for a little bit, because once you take that all away, you have a really solid game, and I don't understand why people bashed it the way that it did. And a lot of people didn't, but it just couldn't sell as well as it should have. So yeah, that's my deal. Metroid Other M was a good copy, and that's why they could have gave it to. That's why I'm okay with Nintendo giving Team Ninja there. I'm not okay with Capcom giving Ninja Theory Devil May Cry because you're fucking it up. But anyway, that's all apples and oranges. I had to get that out of my system. And Megan, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. I'll take over. 10 minutes later.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If I didn't get that out, I was going to like explode.
We're just in the middle of the podcast, just like, oh my god, Devil May Cry. That's not what we're talking about.
But anyway,
yes, you are listening to the second audio podcast of To Continue Press Start. Hopefully by now the video podcast has been out too, and you've been able to see the wonderful glory of me playing Castlevania and then handing it over to Tony.
Oh,
Lord.
And then you get to see me play a stage and a half and get no further than a stage and a half. As a matter of fact, we played a stage and a half together.
We kind of did, yeah. We did.
Yeah, that was freaking crazy.
God.
Fuck Castlevania.
Anyway, yeah, if you have to see that, you're going to have to go watch and listen to the video podcast. But this is special Zelda. Zelda's turning 25, so we decided to do a podcast that's mostly all about Zelda. Legend of Zelda.
Zelda, hooray!
Da-na-na-na. I have no idea what that was, but...
So I guess the best way to start this off, now that we know that Zelda's becoming, or Link is becoming an old man, is Megan.
Well, they're older than us now.
Yeah, but they're only older than me by a couple of months.
Oh, you suck. They're older than me by 2 years.
Oh Christ! Yeah, I'm gonna be 25 in April. Whoops.
February. You forgot when you were born.
I didn't know how old I was up until like the middle of last year. I was still telling myself I was 21.
I always say I'm a year younger than I actually am. I turned 23 in January.
You had a birthday in January?
I did, January 4th.
What? Why wasn't I informed?
Well, if you would have listened to our launch day on the Force 92.5, you would have heard me saying it. But
oh man, foot and mouth. So anyway,
because my first show was on my birthday, I played some special birthday music, some Japanese birthday music for myself.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of cool. I kind of liked it.
Man, I feel bad now. Yeah, if you would have been listening to my show.
Yeah, God. I think you might have went on at like 2 a.m. or something. I don't know. I think you chose some kind of crazy hour or something, so you might have been sleeping.
Yeah, I chose a time that nobody else was going to take, so I wasn't going to leave Jules hanging like that, so I decided to go ahead and listen in. But anyway, back to Zelda. I guess the best way to start this off is, Megan, when was the first time that you played a Legend of Zelda game?
Oh God, I had to have been 6 or 7. I was teeny tiny little child. It was one of my very first video games that I ever played. Oh, I had the two gold discs for the NES.
Woo, gold!
I know, I got the gold ones. I didn't when I had them, I was like, dude, these are so awesome. They're a different color than all my other NES cartridges. Especially since I only played 2 games at the time. It was Zelda and Super Mario Brothers 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned it last time where it was me and my friend would play Mario 3 on our beds, upside down on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I started playing when I was like 6 or 7. I don't know, because I don't really even remember when I started playing it, just because I'd always been playing Zelda games. And I was going through, found a site, they had, 25 years of Zelda commercials on TV.
Wow.
And the thing is, I don't remember seeing any Zelda commercials probably until maybe Wind Waker.
Really?
Yeah, I'd always found out about Zelda on my own. That's how much of like an ingrained little nerd fan I was, that I somehow managed to find out about all the Zelda games on my own. Like no advertising or anything. I was just like, "Oh my God, Zelda must have it." So, cause then the only one I didn't own back then, I should say there were like two Zeldas that I didn't buy when they came out. I didn't have A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, and I
Hmm.
didn't get Four Swords, but that was mostly just because I was raised as an only child and I had no one to play it with. So
Right.
there was no point in getting a game I was never going to be able to play because there was no one who was going to play it with me. But other than that, I had them all. I got Link's Awakening, Oracle Seasons and Ages. I bought a used Nintendo 64 just to buy Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Wow.
And then I bought a used GameCube just to get Twilight Princess. Because there was no way at the time I was going to be able to afford a Wii then. So I was like, it's coming out for the GameCube. I'll just get a GameCube. And I was like, well, I was like, I want to get, I have to play Wind Waker anyway. So when it came out, I bought both Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and I played those. So,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
what about you?
Well, um, my first Legend of Zelda experience was, um, it wasn't one of the first games I ever played, but actually, scratch that. It was one of the first games I ever played, but it wasn't the first game I ever played. My dad was actually interested in buying Legend of Zelda, and he bought it. I don't believe he bought it the year he came out, but I think I was anyway. It doesn't matter how old I was. I just remember being no more than 5 years old and trying to figure out how the hell to play this game where the only thing I could do is walk into a cave and get a sword and then shoot shit. Um, and from there, it's Zelda's been a pretty big part of my action RPG days. I played Link 2, remembering I didn't like Link 2. Um,
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I never got past the like the rock blocking the path.
yeah,
I never got past that.
screw that game. That game was not Zelda. And it's kind of funny because at the time, like if you listen to or if you watched our Castlevania video, I touched lightly on this, but at the time, that's when Nintendo was doing this weird thing with sequels. They were completely changing them. Like it would not going to be like the first game at all. So when Zelda 2 came out, I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, it's going to be more of the same."
Hmm. Only thing that was probably the same was the side scrolling when you actually got to a town.
Yeah, and that was just barely, barely, barely. I bought. I remember buying A Link to the Past, and that to this day is one of my favorite Zelda games. Um,
I didn't actually get A Link to the Past until 3, 4 years ago. Actually,
really?
I got it for. I had a. What did I have? I had the really old clunky very first DS,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought the Link to the Past Game Boy Advance
Yeah, it's
cartridge.
rubber. Yeah. I never really. I mean, it's one of my favorite games. I actually really need to go back and play it.
Me too.
I was trying to think what else I played after that one. What was my big Zelda? Because I never really played Zeldas on the Game Boy or any other minuscule thing after that. Ocarina of Time, everybody has played. Everybody's played.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Blockbuster commercials for that, and I actually had to wait a little bit before I was able to get that one. And um, actually, quick confession to you, I have only played like the first 30 minutes of Majora's Mask because I thought after I played that, I was like, well, I liked Link to the Past, and I liked Majora's Mask, or I liked
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask just already just doesn't seem to do it for me. So I've never really gave Majora's Mask a fair shot, but to be honest, it doesn't seem like a lot of people did either.
No, no, they didn't.
So,
the the only way I finished it was the first time I played both of them was I had a friend, she had the 64 and we were playing them there. And we started playing with Majora's Mask, and at that point I'm going, okay, so you have 3 days, and I'm going, those 3 days go really fast. How are you supposed to get to all these places? And we
mhm.
couldn't figure it out. So when I got it myself, I tried to figure it out, and was never able to beat a temple in time before I had to go back, so I had to do it all over again.
Oh, see,
And the only way I was able to beat that game was I had to ask my mom to go buy me the strategy guide.
and see, this is before Game Facts and Game Winners and all these other websites.
Yeah,
This is
this is
if
when you actually had to go out and you had to spend the money to buy the strategy guide when there was still Funko Land.
yeah.
It was still called Funko Land. I remember the smell of that store. I loved that store to death.
Womp womp womp.
I know, right? I remember I went there and I was there and I knew it was going to be my Christmas present from my mom and my grandma, and I went with them and we got me a used Sega Genesis for $40.
Nice.
Yep. But back this was I was still teeny tiny, so back then, that was still a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember that. Oh, Funko Land.
For some of our newer listeners, I'm gonna go ahead and describe how big um or how rare it was to find information. A lot of people right now look up code books and strategy guides. There are either three ways to figure out a way through a game if you were stumped. It was Game Pro, it was or excuse me, Game Pro or Nintendo Power.
Hmm.
Um it was buying the strategy guide if you could find it. And then it was pray to God that your friend had passed it and you could call him up for free advice.
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember actually doing that with Ocarina of Time. The water temple, believe
Oh
it or
my
not.
god, motherfucking water temple. Where's the thing? I sent you that thing
Mhm.
earlier about the water temple, and oh my god, it's so true.
Yeah, everybody and their mother. Actually, you know what? It's pretty split. Either everybody hates that temple or everybody loves that temple.
I don't see
So
how any person in their right mind could actually like that temple. Not love, like, whatever. Not, no,
my
no.
dad actually likes that temple.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
for my listeners, my dad. I'll reference my dad when it comes to a lot of old school stuff. In fact, if we ever get back into Castlevania, I actually should have mentioned it during the video cast,
You
but
should have, but you didn't.
thanks. The reason why I'm into Castlevania now is because of my father. My father, he got me hooked on Castlevania 1, and to this day, he's beaten every single Castlevania that has come to, except for Castlevania 3 for the NES. And as a tribute, somewhere I did a Let's Play dedicated to my father of me beating Castlevania 3. Um,
Aww.
Aww. But my dad loved the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time. He thought
Oh
it
my
was
god.
freaking fantastic.
Okay, here's the thing I sent you. They did on this website, oneup.com, did a bunch of lists of 25 things. There's like top 25 themes, song covers, merchandise you didn't know existed,
Mhm.
embarrassing moments, and just all the awesome stuff like that. And number 15 is in the list of 25 most useless items in Zelda
Mhm.
games was the iron boots from Ocarina of
Yeah.
Time. It's not just a fashion faux pas. It's also an item that drags Link to elderly scooter rider speed whenever he wants it. And thanks to Ocarina's draconian equipment system, we all have emotionally crippling memories of going into the equipment screen to activate and deactivate the boots every 5 steps. Um, I haven't conducted any studies, but I'm fairly certain this accounts for at least 30% of the reason everyone hates the water temple. The other 70%, of course, being that the puzzles were created by how's that
Cthulhu?
English going for me? Yes, them worshippers who crave your madness.
Yeah, that temple was a bitch.
I
Ugh.
hate that temple.
Um, trying to think what other Zelda story I had. Oh, yeah, funny story that I was gonna talk about. I remember seeing the E3 video for on my dial-up, mind you, of Twilight Princess, and it was a young Link transforming into old Link, and back still actually, this is back in the day when pre-orders were, a fairly new thing.
Yeah.
Me and my friend pre-ordered, bought a GameCube for Twilight Princess. Well, they pushed back Twilight Princess 5 years.
Oh yeah, because I'm reading here. Apparently, it was seen somewhere in 2000
Mm-hmm.
as a demo.
Yep. And we, as a whole, we were obsessed with this game. We wanted it. We pre-ordered it at Babbage's. Was it Babbage's? Babbage's. We pre-ordered it at Babbage's, and I was like, please, 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 take my money. Take all, I think, 60, $70 that I put down on it so I could make sure I was get this. Well, they kept pushing it back and kept pushing it back and pushing it back. Now, imagine my disdain when I heard that Twilight Princess was coming out for the Wii.
I cried when I heard that. I was like, no, no. I was like, it's a Zelda title, and I can't get it because it's gonna be on the Wii, and I can't afford a Wii.
I was so pissed off. It was ridiculous. Because I bought a system. Now, I enjoyed my GameCube. A lot of people didn't, but I did. There was a lot of solid games, and
I love
I
my
think that
GameCube.
a lot of people just should have just sucked it up. But I bought a GameCube just to play Twilight Princess, and now you're going to tell me that you're going to release a better version of Twilight Princess for a system that I don't have yet? What the fuck? So I ended up not playing Twilight Princess until uh,
Even though they did release it for
May.
the GameCube.
Actually no, I actually went out and bought a Wii.
Oh.
I went out and bought a Wii, played Twilight Princess and its shitty motion controls, and after all that wait, I kind of felt disappointed.
Well, see, what I regret now, I bought it for the GameCube, and then when I got my Wii, I sold my GameCube on like eBay or something.
Right.
And I sold with it Twilight Princess because I was like, why am I gonna need 2 copies of Twilight Princess?
Lol.
I'm wishing I would have kept it now. I did go in and beat Twilight Princess on the Wii like 2 or 3 times or whatever, but
Hmm.
I still wish I would have kept the GameCube version.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the GameCube or isn't the Wii version just a mirrored version of the GameCube version?
Yes,
Okay,
because Link is left-handed in every game except for the first one, I think. Link is traditionally a left-handed man.
right.
But since like 85% of the world is right-handed, they mirrored the entire game, just the entire thing. They mirrored it so they wouldn't really have to. I mean, all they would have had to have done was change Link, but
I figured that was a really like bitch way to port it to the Wii. I really feel like it should have been its own individual thing.
yeah, but
But I've never really dabbled into the ones on the DS. Now I did play the Four Swords. Man, I've had so much fun playing that with people. That was incredibly fun. Incredibly fun. I'm so sorry.
I, I'm so alone where I live when it comes to Legend of Zelda.
I'm so sorry.
Like even my mom wouldn't play any Nintendo games with me. Like I can never get her to play Super Mario 3 with me.
Mm.
So I just knew like I knew there was gonna be no multiplayer, no no anything in my
Well,
house. So
well, see, that was the opposite because when I lived with my grandparents, my dad would always come visit me, and he would be kind of upset if he found out I was playing something. It wouldn't be multiplayer, so he couldn't join in. Me and my father have probably run through more games ever than I have with any of my friends.
I think I only started playing with friends probably when I reached like middle school and where I would go over to other people's houses, which wasn't very often at all.
Yeah.
And that really only started with the same friends who had the 64. And we would play Zelda. We'd go back and forth playing Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And we were in the class we had was voice keyboard,
Mm.
where we sang in a choir and then we would like try to learn the keyboard and everything. Didn't really work out for me because my left hand wanted to do what my right hand was always doing. But we were always the huge nerds that we would play the ocarina and we would look at the music bar
Mm.
and we would like quick write it down and when we'd go to school we'd try to play it on the keyboard.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome.
Have you? All right. I gotta ask this question. Um, Back in 2007, there was a video clip that was posted on IGN, and it was a Legend of Zelda
2008.
trailer. 2008.
April Fool's 2008.
Okay.
I didn't see it until a year later.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw it the day of, and I freaked
As
because I
did
was like,
everyone else.
how dare they make do that? That's like holding a steak in front of me and telling me I can't eat it.
I know. It's worse than that. It's like they have a literal $1 million in their hand in a bag. It's 2 feet away from you, but if you touch it, you're gonna get the nastiest shock from like someone shooting you in the eye with a taser.
Right, right, right. It was a pretty terrible joke. So I have to ask you, even though you pretty much answered my question, how did you feel about that?
Well, when I did first see it, I didn't know. I didn't read anything. I just went, "Oh my God, what?" Zelda. I was like, "Zelda trailer?" And I kind of freaked because I was like, "Is this some kind of fan-made crap?" And all I had was official trailer, and I didn't read anything else. And I was watching it, and I was just like on the verge of tears. I was so happy. And
Whoops.
then I found out it was an April Fool's joke.
Oh man.
And then I cried.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just don't see how a Legend of Zelda movie could work. Not one movie. I could see you doing it as a trilogy of movies.
Yeah.
I just
It would
couldn't.
have to be something epic, like Lord
Yeah,
of the Rings.
yeah, it would have to, because this is pretty much like the gaming's Lord of the Rings. Well, yeah, it would pretty much have to be like it's like the gaming Lord of the Rings. There's just so much stuff that you would have to cover.
And you can't do that in just 2 hours.
Yeah, you can't. So it would have to be a 6 hour epic edition and be released one during the winter, one during, the whatever, and then the last one to be released on July 4th weekend.
And I just don't think they're going to, I don't think they can make a movie because it's something that you have to get right. It's not
Hmm.
something you can try and, oh, well, it's kind of okay. We'll reboot it in a couple years and do it better now that we know what everyone wants and what they don't want. No, no, no. Zelda is, Zelda is what it is. You mess it up, you fuck it up, you're going to be hated forever by millions of people and you won't get that second chance.
Exactly.
So if someone
Uh,
else does do it and they do it right, well, you're not going to get that second chance because so many people are going to be against it, going, no, this person fucked it up before. Why should we trust you?
right. There's kind of like, why do I keep saying this? I always reference other things. Um, there is when Hideo Kojima, who did the Metal Gear Solid movie, he actually started it and it was getting produced, and then he stopped midway because he was like, "This is not going to be anything like the games." So he stopped. And he
Yeah,
was like, "There's no way in hell I'm gonna ever, there might possibly be a movie being made out of it, but it's just not gonna be from me." And I kind of feel like you do with the whole Legend of Zelda movie. It's very, very, very hard for them to do it.
yeah.
If they want to make an attempt at it, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna turn out like the Zelda CDI games.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Honest to God, I didn't know those existed until less than 24 hours ago.
Are you lying to me?
No, I did not know they existed, and now I feel my life would have been better if I hadn't have known about them.
Oh boy, Megan, you're getting a link after this podcast.
No, no, no. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh no, this YouTube video, this is completely another. It's an AVGN. You have to see this AVGN about it because he goes into detail. It beats these games, by the way. He beats all three of these Zelda games.
Oh my God.
These games are so. I've actually had the mispleasure of having a CDI and playing one of these games, and it's just as bad as they make it out to be, if not worse.
Well,
It
see,
is.
and I have back to this to the oneup.com. It's the list of top 25 embarrassing moments.
Mhm.
And there's a couple out of them I have to read, but number 8 is CDI games. And the person writes, I imagine that if anyone at Nintendo so much as whispers anything about these games, everyone falls silent. Their heads turn ever so slowly toward the offender. And then, after a silence that seems to last forever, they all leap at once, rendering him limb from limb with their bare hands. Then they go back to work and pretend that nothing happened.
This had to be the absolute worst.
Well, they put up a video to like the intro to one of them, and I was watching it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
And you know what? If it was done, I wouldn't have minded it being done the way that it was done. If, since it was a CDI game, make it like Dragon's Lair or like Space Ace or like any of the ones where you pick a button direction and the character does the animation to do it. That was fine, but they tried to make it into a really terrible like platformer, and oh my god, but it was terrible, 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 terrible. I think that is why Nintendo is kind of like meh on giving out their big franchises to other companies, because realistically, had the CDI been bigger, that would have killed Zelda.
It would have, yeah.
That would have completely destroyed it. So, yeah, CDI blows. Now that I think about it, What's the besides the CDI game? And even though this is blasphemy, is the worst Zelda game you've ever played?
Mm.
If there is one.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there is one. I mean, God, I feel horrible just for saying that myself, but I'm pretty sure there is one. I'm looking at the list right here. Probably, it's probably for me. It's a split between Majora's Mask and quite possibly because I hate to say it, but Phantom Hourglass. It was
Really?
that damn temple. That temple that you had to keep going back and back and back to and keep going. Just, oh my, no, I hated it. I honest to God hated it. I almost couldn't finish the game because I had to keep going back to that damn temple.
Wow.
I hated that damn temple. And because at the time, when I got Wind Waker, I got it when it came out. The day I pre-ordered it and everything,
Mm.
and I registered it, and I even got the special little stylus that Nintendo offered, and it was
Mm.
free too. And I can't find it right now, and it just kills me because I still had the box, and I would keep it in the box in the foam when I wasn't using it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was the most awesome little thing. It looked like a little quill. Um, but it was that temple, that goddamn temple.
Oh.
I couldn't keep going back and forth to it. I wanted to shoot someone.
Well, okay. If I had to give the worst Zelda game, as much as I did not like uh Majora's Mask, I can't really rank that as the worst one. Okay. I have to give it to either Zelda 2,
Hmm.
which, if you haven't really noticed, Zelda's never had a sequel past 2.
No, yeah, they had Phantom Hourglass as a sequel to Wind Waker.
But really?
It's a
Oh,
direct
well,
sequel.
yeah, I guess. Okay. But,
Well, also it depends on how you look. Majora's Mask is a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time.
well, I was referring to calling it a 3. You don't ever see a Zelda 3.
Oh yeah, no, no, I don't think you ever will either.
Yeah. I I gotta say, I really didn't like Zelda 2, and I dabbled in Wind Waker, and Wind Waker was just a little bit too much for me.
Really? I actually kind of like that one. I played it. I've played it several times.
I'm not a fan of the cell shaded. Like, the cell shaded graphical look of it bothered me a lot. Like, a lot, a lot.
I wasn't a fan of it at first, but I think once I got closer to the end of the game, I was like, well, this isn't as bad. I was like, I prefer like, the Ocarina of Time look, and at the time I had Twilight Princess too, so it was kind of like, I prefer the more realistic 3D looking other than obviously it's a fake cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't find it as bad.
Oh, okay. Okay, I could get into that.
It's not
And
as bad. I'm not, trying to preach it, going, "Oh my God, I don't see why you all hate it." No, no.
I felt like I just felt like it should have been better than what it was. And a lot of people should honestly be like, "Oh, well, why don't you mention Four Swords or the Four Swords Adventure?" Well, the reason why I don't mention that is because I had friends to play with. So no matter how bad a multiplayer game is, it's always going to be better with friends.
It is, yeah.
Always.
Because when you're playing with other people, and no matter if it could be like one of the suckiest games ever,
Right.
but if you have friends there, you're gonna make fun of it, but you're still gonna make your way through it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still gonna have a good time because you are sitting there making fun of it.
Right.
Not that we're saying it's bad, but I personally wouldn't know.
So, favorite Zelda game?
Oh dear God.
Uh-oh.
Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess for me personally.
Hmm. Link to the Past.
See, that's what everyone says, and there's even something that I found. I didn't read through it, but it goes why Link to the Past is still the best. I I think probably because I actually haven't finished it. I haven't finished that game.
Whoa.
I know.
Really?
There's let's see if I can count how many games I not including Four Swords because obviously I couldn't play those. Um there's one, two, there's either two or three games I haven't finished.
Really?
A Link to the Past and the Minish Cap. I'm actually not sure if I have Minish Cap. I thought I did at one point, but I'm actually not sure if I have it. Didn't finish that. I didn't finish A Link to the Past. Ages and Seasons. I beat one of them, and then I didn't beat the other for the longest time because I lost the cartridge. But I think I found it several years ago, and then I finished it or something. Um, Link's Awakening, actually, I think I'm at the very end. Like, I just have to make my way up to the Windfish and play all the instruments, but I'm still calling that a win. Because, I mean, that's all I have to do, and I think I, like, found my friend's game, and I was like, dude, I'm at the exact same spot, so I watched the end of it. It was, like, all I needed to do, but...
Uh, I've not really. I've beaten every Zelda, almost every Zelda that I've
Yeah, Link,
touched.
Zelda 2, yeah, I haven't finished that, but that's just...
Well, I know enough about Zelda 2 to say I really just don't care to finish it, and especially if it's not. I guess it's canon with everything else, but it can blow me at this point.
Can you really say canon? Because there really is, like, everyone has their theories on the Zelda timeline,
Oh yeah,
but
everybody's is nobody's is going to be the same.
no, because I saw something and I read something that said, in all honest truth, there is no timeline
I can roll with that. I
because there was something where Miyamoto he was like put on the spot. He was, I think it was like when Ocarina of Time came out,
mhm.
and he was like, "Oh, well, he goes, Ocarina of Time is first, and A Link to the Past is last." And they were all like, "What?" But he was like put on the spot, so they were pretty sure he was just kind of bullshitting it at that point.
Mhm.
Because I mean, if you think about it, they're really not putting into any thought about where each Zelda game is supposed to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like, we're trying to put out a good game, and basically we're just carrying over much needed elements from other games, and we're carrying over the characters that you love. So,
I feel like okay. With that being said, if it's my storyline and wherever the hell I want games is wherever the hell I want games, Zelda 2 doesn't exist.
yes, I I can go with that.
So,
I think the best thing I've ever seen that has any connection whatsoever to Zelda 2 is Brental Floss singing, made up his own words singing to the music of Zelda 2.
really?
Yes, he made up some awesome words. And it said like at the end, he's like, "Oh, you saved the kingdom, blah blah blah." He's like, and like I don't know if he sings it or says it, but like he goes, "Unless you have a game genie or an awful lot of time, you won't beat this game." So he said, something like that, but it's pretty awesome. Just you don't have to finish it or anything. You just watch that, and he sings it because I mean he also makes up words to Zelda 1, but I think yeah, anything related to Zelda 2, it would have to be Brental Floss on YouTube singing and he's dressed up as old man.
Wow.
Old man. Old man.
Oh
I
my.
watched Legend of Neil.
Oh my. Did you really just mention Legend of Neil?
Yes, I did.
Oh
Oh my god,
boy.
I freaking love that series. Shut up.
I have nothing to say. So, um, I really don't know. I
well,
really don't know what else to say.
I feel I should mention how big of a fan I really am.
Okay, shoot.
Like with okay, I'm staring at I have a wristband that has the Hylian crest on it. I have a tattoo of the Hylian crest. I have I have a Zelda wallet that I'm currently sitting on right now. And it's been through hell and back. You can see it's so worn. And I wear it. It had a chain, but the chain broke and it was really sad. But I wear it the guy way. It's in my back pocket. It's always in my back pocket. It's actually part of it because the Hylian shield on the front is metal.
Mm-hmm.
The end of one of the wings has actually ripped a hole in my pocket. And it just like three pairs of jeans, it's ripped a hole. Um so I mean let's see. I have a Zelda jacket that I wear almost every day. I
Mm-hmm.
got it from Hot Topic.
Woohoo!
I have
Hot
like
top.
three T-shirts that I can't find, which just saddens me. One is just gold Hylian shield on the front. The other is like, everything I know in life I learned from Zelda. I love that freaking thing. Um, and then one of them is it's the Wind Waker. It's the stained glass, like stained glass looking window that has Link on it and everything.
Mm.
And then I have the awesome T-shirt I got from Gen Con last year. it has it has the shield and everything, and it goes, "This is Zelda," and it has the face from 300 with a green Link cap on.
Wow.
I love that freaking T-shirt. But I
Um,
mean, and then I'm working. I found someone made a custom crocheted Mario Brothers blanket, Afghan.
mm.
GG Crochet in case you want it. But she made her own thing. It was just made out of little panels. So I started making my own pattern, and I'm making a Zelda Afghan.
Woot.
And I have it all planned out. I have almost all the graphs and everything. I have all the yarn I need. I have probably out of I don't know, like 30 panels, I have 6 done or something. But and it's I have this little plan. It's awesome. The very top is like the original Zelda, just like item bar where it has, I'll have like the items with the bombs and the keys, and I have the map, like dungeon map.
Mm.
I have the level 9 map, and the one where it doesn't look like a skull, it looks like Ganon's head.
Nice.
Um and then I have the bombs and the keys and the rupees. There's going to be A and B, and there's going to be life with the hearts. And then below it, I have different scenes. I actually have some pictures up online. I have them at a blog. I think it's like Meg's Fibers at WordPress.com or something. But then I have Old Man, and it has Old Man, and it says take this.
Wow.
Well, I didn't have enough space to go. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. It's very hard to put in just 50 stitches. Um, I'm making, there's going to be 3 panels of the Triforce. One in green, one in red, and one in blue. Um, I took a boss. I have the scene of when Link discovers the fairy fountain.
Mm.
Um, and then I'm gonna have. I found this great. There's an old man in one of the dungeons where he goes, "Leave your life or your money."
Wow.
You're supposed to like give up hearts or give him money, and I'm
Hmm.
just gonna put in him on a black background that says "Leave your life or your money." It's just like that's awesome. And then I'll have some techites. I have a graveyard scene. I have a battle scene between Link and Ganon, and then I have Link going up. He's going up the path to get to Zelda, and then I have him and Zelda holding the Triforces up and saying, Link, you're the hero of Hyrule.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
And I haven't figured out the border of it yet, but I mean, if that tells you anything, I had multiple friends who were very very upset with me when they announced Skyward Sword at E3.
Oh, Skyward Sword.
Because I blew up Twitter. I blew it up. I blew up Twitter and Facebook because I was sitting there, I was watching the live coverage of E3 Nintendo, because I had heard, because like right before that was like in the Game Informer magazine, they had, artwork of what like
Hmm.
a next Zelda game was gonna be, which actually a little tidbit, that picture has nothing to do with Skyward Sword.
Really?
They had been working on it, and the two guys working on it, was Miyamoto and I can't remember his name, but they were working on it, and they said, you know what? They're like, we're not going to agree on how we want this to look or do or whatever, and so they split it off, and so that it's actually like two separate games.
That's cool.
So I guess eventually, maybe down the road, they have another idea for this game, and they're working on this one. But Skyward Sword is what's coming out now. Um, but no, I blew up Twitter. I was such a freaking fangirl that like every 30 seconds I was like, "Oh my god, the new Zelda game! Oh my god, this is what it's called! Oh my god, they showed the trailer! Oh my god, he's on stage demoing it! Oh my god!" I got a text message actually from Owen going, "We is like me and so and so. I were like we're about to drive the 100 miles from Detroit up to you to kick your ass if you tweet one more time about this." I was like, I can't help it. I mean, really, I have a freaking Zelda tattoo. How much more can't I help it?
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
I think it's it's just like it's like a testimony when I didn't have friends, like or not. I have friends. That's um, I
You're
didn't.
just digging yourself in a deeper hole, my dear.
I know. I didn't have a lot of friends who liked video games as much as I did. Who didn't play them as much,
Right.
and I didn't see like any of the commercials for Zelda. And when I did start seeing commercials for them, I had already pre-ordered the game before that. So I was like, I am on top of this. I knew there was a Zelda game coming out. And so, I discovered it on my own. I was a devoted fan by discovering it on my own in a time where there was like internet wasn't a big thing. Internet was still kind of like, psh, it's gonna go away.
Right.
Or only the big rough and tough people could afford internet. So I have to say, you have to be a devoted fan to not give in to not see TV advertising and not have internet, and just find things out on your own.
Right.
So, oh Zelda.
um.
Not gonna lie, one of my first video game crushes was older Link in Ocarina of Time.
Oh boy.
Yep.
I could safely say I've never had a video game crush on anybody in the Legend of Zelda series.
Not even
Although,
Midna?
although, wait, no, scratch that. I wanted to fuck the hell out of Sheik.
Oh shit!
But
I,
but that's just a
I hold true to the fact that there are two there is the male Sheik, and then there's Zelda, who popped him in the last minute.
Wow.
I thought Sheik was cute, and I thought it was a guy.
So, it being a woman, you still don't think it's cute?
Yes. Hell, when I got to the end of Twilight Princess, also not gonna lie, I made a big, huge Facebook post about it. I was like so fucking pissed off in a good way. I cried at the end of Twilight Princess.
Wow.
When, by the way, this is all gonna be spoilers if you haven't beaten Twilight Princess. But at the end, when Midna revealed her true face and form and everything, I was like, damn, she's hot. That was like my first thought. I was like, holy shit. I was like, dude, you little boy, forget about Zelda down on the hill. You spent this whole fucking game with Midna. If you don't do something to stay with her, you are fucking insane. Forget that other little country girl, Ilya, or whatever the fuck. Just no, Midna, right there. Woo.
Womp, womp, womp.
I was like, dude, she's fucking hot. But no, like older Link in Ocarina of Time was totally one of my first video game crushes.
Wow.
I mean, he was kind of hot.
Wow.
He was.
Wow.
And I hold to the fact that when I was playing that game at that time, I was holding to the fact that he was 14 to 16 years old.
He was of legal age. Oh, man.
Luckily, at that time, it took me about 4 or 5 more years to go and search out Ocarina of Time fanfiction.
And
I was too busy writing my own Backstreet Boy fanfictions.
Oh, man.
That's another road we won't go down, but...
No, let's not go down that road. That's a whole nother can of worms.
I'm surrounded by cans of worms.
Wow.
But...
I guess my thing of I'm not a humongo fan like you are of Zelda. My friend has a cat that he has named Rupees. And I do have a Legend of Zelda shirt. I do have a Legend of Zelda jacket. I have a Legend of Zelda chain.
I didn't mention I have a sword and shield.
I have a shield. I don't have the sword. As far as that is concerned, I've always wanted to get like a Triforce, or the pieces of the Triforce on 3 parts of my body. But I've never really put that into consideration because people are going to look at it and be like, what the hell is that? When Skyward Sword came out or was announced, I'm kind of halfway about it. I gotta see a little bit more about it before I say, hey, this looks like it's gonna be good, or hey, this looks like it's gonna be bad. Plus, they've also said that it's a prequel to Ocarina of Time. So I'm like,
Oh, they have?
Yeah, they've said that it's a prequel to Ocarina of Time.
Oh, wow. And in my head, I'm going, how is this possible? Because the... Oh, well, okay. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, no, maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
Okay.
But
let's go with it.
We'll see. We'll see what's up. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more gameplay on it. It was originally supposed to drop at the end of 2010, but it didn't make it, so they're pushing it. They pushed it back to 2011. I don't think it's gonna. They said it's gonna come out after Ocarina of Time. We'll see what happens. I
honestly think it'll be 2012.
I don't think it'll be 2012. I think it's gonna drop this year. I really do believe it's gonna drop this year because it hasn't been long. Nintendo's actually pretty good about announcing titles and then having them drop relatively soon. Donkey Kong Country was announced at E3 and it came out in November.
Yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn too.
Yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn, the same exact thing. So Nintendo's actually been pretty good about it. The only difference, like when they pushed back the 3DS, They said it was going to drop by the holiday of last year, and it didn't make it. So
Hmm.
that was a little bit understandable. Nintendo's just well,
But they're pretty good about when they release um like their equipment, like handhelds and consoles, because if they push it back, that means it's not ready. They want to work out all the bugs.
right.
They want to make it so you don't have to return this.
Hmm. I think as far as Nintendo is concerned, and Skyward Sword, I think we're going to see it this year. We're going to see it this year. Definitely going to see it this year.
I hope, I really hope. I will, like with I have three three of these special edition hardcover gold line pages walkthroughs.
Wow.
Like I'll get them depending on like when, but I usually get them either Twilight Princess I got a long time after it came out, but the other Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks I got those when the games came out, but I did not unwrap or touch them until after I beat the games.
Really?
Mm-mm. 'Cause then I used it afterwards to find all like the little bonuses and stuff that I couldn't find.
Ooh, quick little thing. Skyward Sword is supposed to be coming out the third quarter of 2011, which means fall, right before the holidays. Do do I think it's probably going to come out after E3 of 2011, but not too far after that? Like I would actually go as far as to say September, October. Expect to see Twilight Prince, or not Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword.
They're re-releasing Twilight Princess. Forget you ever played it.
That wouldn't. It's gonna come. I'm actually really, really surprised that they don't have like a Gigantor pack, not the Master Quest and the pack that they had for the GameCube not too long ago, but
Hmm.
a serious like um a complete. I don't know what you would call it, the Quest of Zeldas, and just have every single hard hitting Zelda game playable, except for maybe Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really surprising. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen a Link to the Past in a disc format yet, because we've seen the original one and we've seen Ocarina of Time, but we don't see all the
Well,
other ones. I'm kind of upset.
they're because The Link to the Past was for the original Super Nintendo, and then they re-released
No,
it.
the
Link to
Link
the
to the
Past?
Past was
Oh,
was Super Nintendo. Well, you did say
yeah.
Super
I said
Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay, I thought you said original Nintendo. My bad.
It was originally for the Super Nintendo.
Right.
Um, and then they re-released it for the Game Boy Advance. And then I guess they're not going to put it in disc form because they did release it for the Wii Virtual Console.
But I want my disc form.
I know, but I don't think you're going to see it.
I think I'm gonna see it.
You hold true to that, little man.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I mean, they have it on the Virtual Console. They released the first Zelda for the Virtual Console. I'm assuming they released Zelda 2, but I have the first Zelda for the Wii Virtual Console. Um, I don't know. I think if they do, I'm sorry, I just saw a cat run by with a bag stuck around its body.
Wow.
It was the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Um, I think if they do release any other games, here goes again. They're going to be on the Wii Virtual Console. So I mean, and that's as close as you're going to get to disc format because it'll be on a console and not a handheld.
Hmm.
That's just my theory. That's my theory on basing it on nothing. I have nothing to back up this theory. So I was going to say something else and I can't remember.
Well, dead silence. I guess we should go ahead and get ready to wrap things up.
Yeah, we are. It's Zelda. Yay! Zelda and Link are turning 25. Yay!
Yay!
I,
So,
I feel like I need to go play a bunch of Zelda now.
So, Megan, upcoming projects that we have going on, or that you have
Um,
going on.
let's see. Well, I could talk. We have upcoming projects podcast wise. We have more games to go through.
Oh yeah.
We have Metroid. Um, we have Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Bionic Commando. Those are just the ones I have. Hey, look, I have a Link to the Past on here for my.
Absolutely. Wait, you never played Link to the Past?
I've played it. You want to know how far I've gotten?
Well, how far have you gotten?
I've gotten inside the castle to Zelda in the prison.
So you've never played the greatest Zelda to drop ever.
No, I haven't gotten past getting to Zelda. We could do that one next.
No, 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 no. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait on that one because that's a long one. Oh
Okay.
well.
Well, I mean, we could break it up, and if I can't save it, I'll just leave my computer on. I did that with I have Majora's Mask on here too for an emulator, and it wouldn't save. Like I would press save, but it would be like, nope, fuck you. And I kept my computer on. I just kept it on, and I kept it on for probably 3 4 days, and then I cried because there was a power surge
Womp womp womp.
and the computer like turned on and off, and I was at the very end. Like I was about to go up and I was about to fight Skull Kid, but I wasn't gonna do it until I got the fierce deity mask.
Mhm.
Because I'd already beaten it the traditional way without the fierce deity mask before. But I was just like, you know what? This is an emulator. I'm going to fucking beat him the easy way. And I went to go. I was getting the mask, and then there was a power surge, and I lost it all. And I was all like, I can't do it. I was like, right now, I can't go through 3 days of playing this again.
That's so sad.
It was very sad. So I need to check if my SNES emulator has a save where I can save Link to the Past. But I mean, I can either play it on that, or I'm pretty sure I know where my game cartridge is. I have a DS, so. But
I
no,
I
no, I have not. I've played probably, like the first 5 10 minutes of Link to the Past.
we'll leave that one up to whatever you want to do.
We'll figure something out.
Of course.
Um, but other projects other than that, I don't know. I don't have any on the list that I know of right now. What about you?
Well, more videos. Definitely, definitely. That's what we're working on. More videos.
Maybe I'll do a let's play of Link to the Past as I go through it.
That would be pretty cool. Playing it blind.
Exactly.
Um, I do plan on finishing my Power Rangers Let's Play eventually. I feel like doing a Ninja Gaiden Let's Play. I'm not too sure which Let's Plays I want to do anymore but after that, but I know I want to start doing some more videos. Um,
Maybe I'll tackle since I have this here. Maybe I'll tackle Ocarina of Time Let's Play
that would be pretty cool.
because I have the disc, the Master Quest disc, and everything. But to get it on my emulator, I still know after all these years my way through the original Ocarina of Time. I know where like every little hidden thing in the dungeon is, all that wonderful, beautiful stuff, how to get through the dungeons, where to go exactly at what time, timing everything. I know all this shit.
Yes, that is awesome.
I'll do that. I'll find it, and knowing me, I'll probably like start it tonight or something.
That would be cool.
That's awesome. We need to make a YouTube account for this also.
Yeah, we do.
It's on
Yeah,
the
we do.
to-do list as we keep updating the blog, people, which you're probably reading if you found us, because as of the time of this recording, we don't have our podcasts up on iTunes or the Zune Marketplace yet. We're still waiting for the review from iTunes, and I'm still trying to figure out how to fucking work the Zune Marketplace. I press OK and the screen disappears and nothing happens and I don't know what's going on. But no, we have the blog that we're still updating. Yeah. So see, we have the Let's Plays. We have the. We need to come up with a cool name for the challenges.
Yep.
I think either this next video challenge podcast or the one after it, we'll have special guest Owen watching also. He won't be playing. It was actually quite funny because he was telling me how he knows nothing about actual podcasting, like how to do it and how to like get it on the internet and everything. And we were texting each other, and he, at one point, I told him, I was like, well, you know what your days look like? This is when we record. And he was like, how can I do a video podcast from Detroit? Your technology dazzles me. And I was like, I wave my fingers around. It's magic. I was like, you just show up on Skype and talk. And I was like, you and your crazy magic. So that'll actually be very funny. But there'll be wonderful color commentary from you and a wonderful chorus of chanting of You Gonna Die from Owen.
One cool thing that I got to go ahead and bring up, for those of you who know, we do work for the Force 92.5, and I'm actually interested in getting our boss, if not color commentating, actually getting together and playing maybe a game. So I could hear, so maybe we could hear her and her wonderful classical viewpoints on games and whatnot. I think that would be a fantastic.
Should make fun of us and mock us the whole damn time. It'd be perfect.
I think it'd be a fantastic idea. And you know what, Jules, if you listen to this, I would be willing to give you game of your choice and whatever we had to do to get you to do this podcast, to play and to do a podcast. I will do it. I don't know what I got to do, but if you're willing to pick a game, I'm willing to set it up so you can do it.
Let's call out Joe and get him on Halo.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Your ass would be kicked in the virtual world so hard. I'd be sitting from a little hiding place watching through my sniper scope, laughing the whole damn time.
That is that is not funny.
As I hide from both of you.
Bump that.
Or I'll have my rocket launcher and I'll, when he's done killing you, I'll shoot him in the head or something and then run away. Run away screaming like a little girl.
Wow.
But yeah, no, we have to get more guests on here.
Yeah, we will. We'll have to drop a bunch of guests on here.
We'll get Owen. I'm working on getting Owen because he'll just be hilarious. And then we'll get Jules. We'll have to call her Classic the whole time, and then she'll fire us, and it'll be funny. Yeah, no, we'll get a bunch of guests on here. So yeah, we have the Classic Video Game Challenge videos, and we have some Let's Plays coming up, and we'll post those on the site. We might. I might even get them posted as video podcasts.
That'd be awesome.
So we can do them on YouTube and as podcasts.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, no, it sounds good. So is that? I think that's all we have coming up.
Well, I think that's about it.
Oh, I should say that at the beginning of the podcast, the song you heard was The Legend of Zelda, being played entirely with Heineken beer bottles. That was by Matthias Holmgren. I'm sorry if I just butchered your name.
Revenge.
I could probably play like part of the Zelda end credits at the end of this.
I think that's a good idea.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, no, sounds good.
Oh boy.
So yeah, no. Other than that, I think we're done with this podcast.
I think we are done with this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening in.
Continue, press start.
To continue, press start.
I'm not sure if I don't think we dropped the name enough in this.
That's true. We're like, hey, welcome to our podcast.
I
Who the hell
know.
are you?
Hey, yeah, we hope you know what you've stumbled onto.
Well, guys, thank you for listening in. It's highly appreciated. This is to continue. Press start. I am
Yeah.
I am Antonio, and my partner is Megan, and we wish you a good night, or a good afternoon, or a good day, whatever the hell you're listening to. We wish you a good whatever.
May the three goddesses bless you.
What? What?
With Zelda, the three goddesses.
Oh, I
Din
was.
Din Narun Faro.
Oh, 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 oh. Good night, everybody.
Bye.